What's up, everybody? My name's Graylan here, bringing you another episode of Minecraft Single Player. When we last left off, I don't remember what we did. Uh, we went mining? I have no. I just see the diamonds in there, and I think we went mining. I think we got home. I'm not too sure. Um, what I want to do today, I should probably talk about that. What I want to do today is I wanna work on the house a little bit because we haven't been working on the house. And I said I was going to, and we haven't. And I need a lot of dirt. Like in order for us to even do a single thing with the house, I need an extraordinarily amount of dirt. I've already gone through like a stack of wood doing what I just did. So I want to show you guys what I've done so far with the house. It's not even close to being like anything remotely close to being done. Um, but this is just gonna be like the outer layer of the house, and it's dark. Let's sleep. But yeah, uh, one thing I wanna talk about again while I do this is, uh, you know, for those of you, I know a lot of you said you don't watch, or a lot of you came to me first and that you don't watch Chris, or you don't necessarily know who Chris is. But Chris is pretty much the person that got me started with YouTube. For those of you who don't know who he is. Um, Now, I still watch his videos. I'm still a huge fan of him. I'm not like just because I'm his friend doesn't mean I'm not his fan. Um, uh, Today I learned that he talked about how how we started to become friends, or how we are friends and everything like that. And that actually made me feel pretty good because you know it was he brought up a situation very long ago um, where a lot of the original people from the server, or as the original server, had stopped playing with him and stopped going on that server, and uh, where I had created my own server where they could go because they were originally my friends. Um, but as time went on, I guess on my point, because Chris was still a YouTuber. Chris was still a YouTuber. He was doing his YouTube thing. It didn't necessarily. I wouldn't say it didn't matter to him that we left. It just didn't affect him uh, as much as it. I'm not sure how to say that. It didn't affect him as much as it would affect a lot of other people. But for me, it was more along the line of uh, I had these friends. I had made the server. I paid for the server myself. Mind you, I don't make any money. So this came pretty hard on my end uh, when it came to paying for the server. And you know, after a while, I had been paying for a TeamSpeak server as well. I had been paying for the server itself and the TeamSpeak server. And you know, after a long time, I started realizing, wait a minute, there's more people than in here than the original people. And then I started seeing what's happened. I realized, wait a minute, uh, these people are acting as if like we're like the best of friends when we hardly know each other. We knew each other for a good amount of time, a couple of months, maybe. This is the original people, by the way. This is not what happened between. I've explained what happened between me and Chris many times, so if you want to look at that, go ahead and find a video or something. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's nothing between me and him. It was between me and other people that caused the real problem. Let's see. Here, do I have any food? I need food. I'm gonna eat rotten flesh from now on. Screw it. All right, whatever. But yeah. Now, this was between me and the original people now. So, as I paid for the server, as I did everything, I tried to keep them together. Then I started realizing I didn't like some of them. Like, a couple of them, I didn't like their attitude. I didn't like the way they talked to each other. Um, I didn't like a lot of things. And as that dislike went on, it kind of escalated into me having to ban people. Now, mind you, these are my friends. and I'd do anything I can to not ban a friend. Uh, but sometimes as a server owner, you have to do what you have to do. There's no real saying, "Oh, well, you're my friend, so I guess you can get away with doing this and this and this." But I mean, that's not fair to other people. I mean, that's completely not fair to other people. Are you kidding me? Like, if I was to say do that, then what the heck? What would be the point of being a server owner? And what would be the point of having these friends on the server if they can't feel comfortable? So, I ended up uh, spending my own time trying to figure stuff out, seeing who I liked, who I didn't like. And after a while, I ended up just not paying for the server anymore. So, the server's gone. Everybody's pretty ticked off at me because I stopped paying for the server. The server's not there anymore. Everybody's like, why isn't the server here? Blah, blah, blah. And then another person started paying for it. One of my friends from my server had started paying for it. So, everything was back to normal again, and still, there's no dirt here. Are you kidding me? This is like the first cave I've ever seen with no dirt. Oh well. But yeah, the the original person, or yeah, the person that had started paying for the server, which I had no problem with. They kept the people there, keep everybody friends, and then things started getting very, very bad for me, at least. It came to a point where this person was inviting real life friends, and while I didn't have a problem with many of the real life friends, or with some of the real life friends, most of them I didn't like. Most of them I didn't like in the slightest. Like they were very, very mean and they're jerks basically. They were really big jerks because they hadn't seen uh, the whole aspect of being an internet friend or anything like that. They haven't seen that. They were all like real life friends. It's just them. Um, but when it came into the whole internet thing, I guess it was difficult to make the change. And I guess when it came to that point, I would have rather leave than cause any problems between me and the real life friends. Because honestly, I think real life friends should mean more than an internet friend. So if it takes me leaving to show somebody that their friends are actually are good, then that's completely fine to me. I wouldn't mind. Um, but yeah, and while that was all happening, I ended up leaving. I ended up leaving that server, and I came to Chris because I saw that Chris was still making videos. I was kind of watching his videos, kind of um, the whole Fallout thing kind of made me not want to watch him. But then I started watching him again after a while, and I started to enjoy him again, and I saw that he still had a server going. So I said, oh, you know what, might as well go try that out. And, this is all, I'm still talking to some of the internet friends. I'm still talking to them from the original server. I'm still talking to them. And now that they see I'm talking to Chris again, they start getting mad. They start saying, oh, man, you go talk to Chris again, huh? And it's kind of like they were suffocating me. They weren't allowing me to have my own friends. I would have rather to be friends with Chris. Or like I didn't want that problem with Chris. I felt like I had that connection with Chris. I still had the feeling that we were friends and the feeling that we should stay friends. And I'm glad I had that feeling because it's led up to this point. And when it and I guess if you consider this like a Let's Talk, I'd consider this to be mostly a Let's Talk on friendship. But it comes to that point where your group of friends just becomes too big and you feel left out in some things. I like being in Chris and the Crew because there's four of us. There's four of us, and none of us get left out. If anything, we always need an extra person. For a game, say we play like League of Legends, we need an extra person. We play an MMO, There are about 5 people per party. We need an extra person. But I rather that than how it was in the other server, where there was like 8 of us, and these are on at the same time. There's 8 to 10 people on this server, maybe more, and some of us were getting left out during games. And sometimes I just say, okay, then if one of us is gonna get left out, let that be me. Then I'll gladly go ahead and take the fallout. I'll be left out. I don't care. And once that happens a number of times, you kind of lose that feeling that you had that you were friends with these people in the first place. Now, I don't get that feeling with a lot of people that I'm talking to now. I don't get that feeling when I go onto the Pipe Dream server. I don't get that feeling when I log on to TeamSpeak of Chris and the crew. I don't get that feeling when I talk to anybody anymore. I try to say, hey, I've made my friends back. I've made my old friends back. And I think I made the right choice in picking Chris, Carlo, Carton. I think I made the right choice picking them rather than picking or going with the group of friends that would have kept leaving others out of the situation or out of the loops. I made the right choice. I know I did. Now, do my old friends see it that way? No, not at all. They still don't like Chris. It's not understandable, but I mean, if you don't like somebody, you don't like somebody. I'm not gonna say, hey, if you don't talk to this person, then I'll never talk to you again. No, I'm not like that. I'm going to say, well, if you don't like him, then I mean, I'm going to be spending the majority of my time with him. I don't really necessarily need you around. I have my friends. I have all the friends that I need. I don't care about the quantity of friends that I have. I care about the quality. I could have, like, let's say, back in a live stream that I was talking about, I talked about how pretty much in high school I was pretty much one of the most unknown people there. I had maybe five group of friends, or 5 friends, not 5 groups, 5 friends, 5 actual friends that I would actually talk to and hang around with. Now there were other people around me that thought they were my friend. I didn't necessarily think of them as friends. I thought of them as more of acquaintances, and I usually do think of people as an acquaintance rather than as a friend. And I think that saved me a couple times from bad friendships. Um, but most of the time, no. Ow! Darn it! What did you just give me? Slowness, you jerk. Come on, come on, die, 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 die. Why do you take so long to die? Jeez. Just gave me sticks for no reason. Okay, fine. Die. And but yeah, okay, back to the whole friends in high school. Um, but yeah, back in high school, I had about 5 friends. Let's go with that. I definitely had a very small number of friends. Um, mind you, I never got into a fight with any of these friends. I never had that because whenever I have a fight with somebody, I lose complete trust with them. I don't necessarily want to be around them anymore. If I get talked down to, or if I feel like I'm being talked down to, or if somebody raises their voice at me, I choose to leave. I choose to not talk to these people anymore. Uh, and I've explained this a couple times that I'm very skittish when it comes to friendship. Um, I have some trust issues when it comes to friends. I don't necessarily, if you're trying to get close to me to get close to someone else, I mean, I'm not going to allow myself to go through that. If you're not there for me, then why should I be there for you? Uh, and I know that's kind of selfish in a sense, but I mean, that's just how I feel about the subject. You don't need a lot of friends because once you have that good group of friends, you don't really need anybody else. You can have in being alone doesn't necessarily mean that you're alone. It just means that there's nobody around for that certain period of time. I remember having this problem. Well, I still have this problem to this day. Of I usually am alone when I talk when I do my single players, my everything, because I'm usually the first one on the TeamSpeak server. I'm alone because I have to sit there and wait for people to log on, and that's a lot. That happens with a lot of internet friends where um, it happens to a lot of internet friends with me because I don't know why, but every time I make a certain group of friends, I usually end up being the first one on. I'm very if I choose someone, I'm very loyal to that person. I'm a very loyal person when it comes to that. If if you're good to me, I will be fantastic to you. Uh, if you don't betray me, I will be the best friend that you've ever had. I I can change myself very easily. And not to say that I'm proud of being able to change myself, I'm I can deal with certain things that other people wouldn't be able to deal with. I can deal with leaving a friend. I can deal with being alone for a very long time. I can deal with it. I mean, I don't have any problems with it. I've never had a problem with it. I don't feel like there is a problem with being alone. Um, I I like being alone. It's one of my better things. If I feel like I'm causing a problem, I'm going to choose being alone than staying with friends. And that's just the cold hard truth. If I feel like I've ever caused a problem to somebody, I'm going to leave. I'm going to stop what I'm doing. I'm going to just walk away. I'd rather be alone than cause somebody else to feel like they're not welcome in a certain area or welcome in a certain spot. Uh, but that's just my feeling on it. I really, for me, it's really kind of a matter of how would I feel if somebody had come into my life and started, changing things. I just remembered that I need to tear that down. Hmm. Whatever. It doesn't need to be even. The checkered floor doesn't need to be even. I won't notice it later on. Let's see. Just grab my carrot so I don't have to eat. I don't have to eat this stuff anymore. I'm tired of eating rotten flesh. There. Good enough. Um, but yeah. It's really kind of just a matter of if I place myself in other people's shoes a lot of the time. I don't like having to choose between people. And I'd rather, if I can prevent somebody from feeling that way, that they have to choose between something, um, then I'll do it. I will do it. That's one of the many reasons that I left my other friends. Um, there was a problem between. I didn't have a problem with Chris, and I didn't have a problem with. I had a couple problems with the other people, um, but Chris didn't feel comfortable with me at the beginning. He didn't feel comfortable with me talking to the old people, the original people. He didn't feel comfortable with me talking to them. So at that point, I'm not sure how long this recording has been going for. I think it's been going for 20 minutes. My bad, I'm sorry. But I like talking about this. This is a good subject for you guys to know about friendship right now. But Chris wasn't comfortable with me talking to the old people on the old server, and asked me told me if I ever wanted to gain his trust back, I would have to, you know, stop talking to them because they were still talking bad about him, and I agreed. I said, you know, I'm having problems with them. I'm not having problems with you. Why am I going to look a look? Uh, I don't know. Why am I going to walk past you when I don't have the opportunity to have the same thing with them? With Chris, I had the ability to be myself. I had the ability to play a game and not have myself yelled at or not be yelled at because I'm not playing the same game as them. Uh, Mind you, I still enjoy playing the same game as Chris and Carlo. Sometimes I need to buy I probably need to buy a better computer to be able to play the same games as them because their computers are a lot better than mine. But I'm fine with it because we can play League of Legends, we can play Minecraft, we can record together, we can do all these things together, we can just talk. It doesn't matter. All these things are my favorite things to do in Chris and the Crew. Uh, because and I don't really mind, and that's why I don't mind being a part of the crew. I don't mind that. I actually prefer it to be that way because I've never liked being the center of attention. I've never liked it. And you know, choosing between two groups of friends, uh, it's not hard to see once you realize who people are. It's not hard to see who your real friends are and who the people that you know are just going to yell at you and curse at you for absolutely nothing. You know, I'm glad I made my choice. I'm glad I made it because I started talking to the old people again, and they haven't changed. They've actually, for me, they've gotten quite worse actually. They've brought a couple more people into the mix, and you know, for me, it's more about trying to trying to settle what it is that what's happened between everybody. That's pretty much my biggest problem. That I needed to settle things with people. I don't need to sit there and listen to a bunch of people whining about nothing. I don't need to do that. I don't need anybody to tell me anything. I can do it on my own. However, with being friends with Chris and Carlo, I can do whatever I want. Being friends with the Pipe Dream server, I can do what I want. I can be myself. I can do whatever I feel like doing without the repercussions of feeling like I'm doing something behind someone else's back. And that's my favorite part of having different groups of friends that I know are going to accept me for me rather than start yelling and start, just complaining when I don't do something their way. And basically that's my biggest thing. So I guess you can count this as a Let's Talk, but still a single player. So thank you guys so much for watching. It's been a kind of long episode. I've run a pretty pretty longer than I expected it to be. So I guess yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great day. Peace out, everybody. Bye.